You're not lazy. You're lost. Maybe you're not lazy. Maybe the real reason you can't focus, can't stay consistent, can't seem to move forward has nothing to do with discipline. And if that's true, then you've been blaming yourself for the wrong problem this whole time. You've been attacking your character instead of questioning your direction. You've been trying to fix your willpower instead of asking where your energy is supposed to go. And that misunderstanding slowly turns into an identity. You stop saying, "I feel unmotivated," and start saying, "I am lazy." That shift is dangerous, because once something becomes identity, it feels permanent. But there's something people rarely talk about. When you don't know where you're going, your brain slowly shuts down your energy. Not because you're weak, not because you lack intelligence, not because you don't have potential, but because your mind is designed to conserve effort when there is no clear reward ahead. Energy is expensive. Attention is expensive. Focus is expensive. Your brain will not invest those resources into something that feels unclear or meaningless. And once you understand that, you might stop calling yourself lazy forever. Think about your days lately. You wake up tired even when you slept enough. You reach for your phone before your feet touch the floor. You scroll through other people's progress before thinking about your own. You tell yourself you'll start after one more video, one more post, one more scroll. Then the day moves forward without you. The important task sits quietly in the background like a weight you carry without touching. By evening, the guilt begins. You replay the day in your head. You calculate the hours you wasted. And the same question returns almost like a ritual. What's wrong with me? You see other people moving fast, building careers, getting in shape, learning skills, starting businesses, posting milestones, announcing achievements. And from the outside their lives look clear and directed. Meanwhile you feel like you're standing still in the middle of traffic watching everyone pass you. So you try harder. You promise yourself this time will be different. You download productivity apps. You organize your notes. You write ambitious goals. You watch motivational videos late into the night hoping something will click. For a few days it works. You feel inspired. You feel capable. You feel like maybe you solved it. Then something shifts. The energy fades. The structure collapses. The routine becomes heavy. And you stop again. That's when the label becomes permanent. I'm just lazy. You say it casually at first, then seriously, and eventually you believe it. But let me ask you something. If you were truly lazy, why do you feel guilty? Why does it bother you? Why does it hurt to feel behind? Lazy people don't feel frustrated. Lazy people don't question themselves at night. Lazy people don't search for answers. You feel behind because you care. You feel anxious because something inside you wants more. That desire alone proves this isn't laziness. The real problem isn't effort. It's direction. Imagine sitting inside a car with a full tank of gas. The engine works perfectly. The wheels are aligned. Nothing is broken. But there's one problem. You don't have a destination. You don't know where you're going, so you sit there. Minutes pass, then hours. Eventually you step out and say, "This car doesn't move." But the car isn't broken. It's waiting for coordinates. That's what's happening to you. Most people today aren't exhausted from working too hard. They're exhausted from not knowing what actually matters. We live in a time of infinite options, infinite comparisons, infinite definitions of success. Be rich. Be fit. Be disciplined. Be creative. Be confident. Build something impressive. Travel. Invest. Optimize. Improve every area of your life at the same time. And when everything feels important, nothing feels meaningful. When every path looks urgent, your brain freezes. Your mind hesitates because it doesn't know what deserves your energy. Should you focus on money, health, skills, relationships, content creation, learning? The pressure to choose correctly becomes so intense that you choose nothing at all. And when the brain detects uncertainty without clarity, it defaults to safety. It chooses the easiest available reward, scrolling, watching, consuming, escaping. Not because you're lazy, but because you're lost. Here's something deeper. Borrowed goals drain energy. When you chase something because it looks impressive and not because it feels meaningful, your body resists. You can force yourself for a while. You can discipline yourself temporarily. But misalignment creates friction, and friction feels like laziness. You think you lack discipline, but maybe you lack connection to the goal itself. Ask yourself honestly. If no one could see your progress, if no one could judge your results, if there were no comparisons, what would you actually move toward? That question is uncomfortable because many of the goals we carry aren't truly ours. They are inherited, absorbed, suggested, imposed. And when you walk a path that doesn't belong to you, your energy leaks quietly. Direction creates energy, not the other way around. Motivation doesn't create direction. Direction creates motivation. When you decide where you're going, even imperfectly, your mind begins organizing itself around that decision. Your attention sharpens. Your distractions weaken. Your discipline feels lighter, not because the task became easier but because it became meaningful. You don't need a perfect 5-year plan. You don't need to figure out your entire life this week. You don't need absolute certainty before you start moving. You just need one chosen direction for now. One skill, one project, one focus for the next 30 days. Not forever, just long enough to give your brain coordinates. Clarity reduces friction, and friction is what you've been calling laziness. When your mind knows what matters, it stops negotiating every small action. When the direction is clear, you don't wake up asking, "What should I do?" You wake up knowing. That certainty removes internal debate, and internal debate is exhausting. You're not tired from working. You're tired from deciding. So before you criticize yourself again, before you label yourself as undisciplined, pause. Don't ask, "Why am I like this?" Ask, "Have I actually chosen where I'm going? Have I committed to something long enough to let momentum build, or am I constantly restarting because I'm unsure?" Standing still in a world that keeps running feels like failure. It feels like you're falling behind. But maybe you're not behind. Maybe you're just paused at crossroads, afraid to choose the wrong road, and that fear keeps you motionless. Being lost doesn't mean you're incapable. It means you're at a decision point. So choose something. Not the perfect thing. Not the most impressive thing. Just something meaningful enough to move toward. Give yourself permission to choose imperfectly. Give yourself permission to commit temporarily. Movement creates clarity. Action reveals direction. You don't think your way out of confusion. You move your way out of it. And once you move, something surprising happens. The energy you thought you didn't have begins to return. The focus you believed was missing starts to sharpen. The discipline you tried to force begins to feel natural because now your effort has a target. You were never lazy. You were uncertain. You were overloaded with options. You were pressured by comparisons. You were trying to optimize everything without choosing anything, and that tension disguised itself as laziness. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not behind. You're simply human in a world that offers too many directions and too little clarity. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "I'm lazy," stop. Replace it with a better question. Where am I going? And if the answer is unclear, don't panic. That's not a flaw. That's an invitation. An invitation to decide. You're not lazy. You're lost. And being lost doesn't mean you can't move. It just means it's time to choose a direction, quietly, for yourself, and start walking.